PlayStation, now this is interesting. So one of you, DJ Chip, obviously thank you for bringing this to my attention. This is 6 hours ago. PlayStation multi-platform move leaves fans furious. I'm going to PC. It appears that PlayStation's apparent move to embrace multi-platform releases has ruffled some feathers, with some fans threatening to move to PC. Last week, we reported on a job listing from Sony Interactive Entertainment that showed the publisher is looking to expand its titles across other platforms, namely Steam, Epic, Xbox, Nintendo, and mobile. The new job listing follows the announcements earlier this month that PlayStation would be publishing Helldivers 2 on Xbox Series X and S, a move which has seemed to be a little more controversial with some PlayStation fans. Okay, I don't know what you guys think, and I'll tell you what I think about this. Obviously, being a PlayStation player, I've always preferred PlayStation consoles because, in my opinion, they offer the best exclusives. They are one of the main attractions of PlayStation in general, right to fan. If PlayStation exclusive games like Spider-Man 2, Last of Us, God of War, Gran Turismo start coming out on other consoles, the PlayStation consoles really lose their main attraction for me. If the reason I bought a PlayStation console starts coming out on other consoles, then why I bought a PlayStation and not an Xbox or Nintendo? So with PlayStation, now, of course, I agree that exclusive games and great games will sell consoles 100%. Would I want to see other games come to other platforms day one on PlayStation? And would I think that could hurt the brand potentially for sales of like future consoles? Yes. If these games come out on multi-platforms a year later, a year and a half, I don't think that's a problem. Everyone's different. Because I'm in the PlayStation ecosystem, maybe if I had a PC, but I wouldn't want to wait a year for a God of War game, a Gran Turismo 7, or Ghost of Yotei, for example, Death Stranding 2. I wouldn't want to wait. So I think there still needs to be a degree of exclusivity to PlayStation. I feel like we need to get them first. If they come out even 2 years later, what's the problem there? I don't think that's a problem. And if people are like, oh, I'll wait 2 years. Well, with these big games, would you really want to wait 2 years? I wouldn't want to wait 2 years to play God of War Ragnarok. No way. But it looks like that's where a lot of these, Xbox are doing it multi-platform, mainly because their console is just not doing well at all, and that's what they've decided to do. I feel I'm in a cross between, I know people like complain about exclusivity, but PlayStation have always been doing that, and I feel like for some people to say I don't like the way they just release their games on their consoles, but that's what they did to sell their consoles. That's what Xbox did. That's what they had the great competition. I think it was a good thing. Do I think they should bring them out a year later, 2 years later? No less than a year, but I do think, yeah, you should bring them out a year later, 100% on other consoles, so other people get to play them. You make more money, but I wouldn't want to, even Astro Bot, I wouldn't want to wait a year to play Astro Bot. I loved Astro's Playroom, so the problem is, it wouldn't make sense if everything came out the same time. Then of course the PlayStation brand, and less people will be buying consoles, so that wouldn't make sense. So it would be, I think it'd be stupid of PlayStation to be like, yeah, God of War Egypt is coming out day one on everything. It's like, well, that would make no sense. If you did it a year later, a lot of people will probably buy a console for that if they love the series that much. Now, something like Helldivers 2, do I think that should have come out day one on Xbox and Steam? Well, it did come out on PC, sorry. On Xbox, yes, 100%. I feel like I get what you're saying, Darren, so it's best in the interest of everyone to release it everywhere, and when you delay it, you miss your opportunity. But the problem is, if they sell it everywhere, you look at what is the point of having a PS5? And I feel like with Sony, it feels like they're undervaluing their core audience who have bought every freaking console. And now they're like, well, are you going to buy a PS6? I feel like, yeah, we're still doing exclusive games. You're still going to get them for a year. I just feel like that's the best. That's what I would do, because that's your brand. I get it. You want to get other people on it, but you have to wait a year. It compels them to make better hardware. I don't know what you guys think of that. That's just what I think, because then it wouldn't make sense. Like when I played God of War Ragnarok, I was like, wow, what a game. Unbelievable. And then if it comes out a year later on PC, which I don't know how long it was it 2 years? I'm like, cool, I've played it on PS5. Yeah, like it should come out on PC. This next console generation will be determined on who has the cheapest console, and Sony needs to be careful because Xbox, Microsoft money. Sony doesn't have that luxury. Yeah, the next generation is going to be very, very interesting. So I know a lot of people I know some people will be like really upset about it. Being games cost so much money to make, or games cost so much money to make, limiting your audience while expecting good results is a fool's errand, wrote one fan. You're just kneecapping your return on investment. You're not thinking about this the right way. Now you can play the games you want on whatever device you want. They already started this process years ago. They'll probably just have their older games on other platforms. My guess is their new games will remain exclusive to the PlayStation platform for at least 2 to 3 years. Now, I feel like that's a bit long. I feel like I would say maybe 2 years for their big games. I know that might sound really like, oh gosh, how could you? Because you still want to build the place, you still want people to be in the PlayStation ecosystem. I guess it is risky. GTA 6 being console on day one is going to boost, but that exactly. So this is what I'm saying. So with GTA, and that's a great point. So GTA 6 that will sell PS5s, that will sell PS5 Pros. They're going to see a massive increase in PS5s and PS5 Pros because of GTA 6. Now, if it was coming out on PC day one, you wouldn't see that. And then that would be a bit of a problem. It's even going to sell Xboxes because people will choose Xboxes as well. So that's why I think timed exclusives, I know it's Rockstar, timed exclusives are, I think, the best way to do it. And second of all, nearly every PlayStation exclusive comes out on a PC, it basically runs like crap and it's broken. And that's another thing that they need to sort out. Stop releasing these older games like The Last of Us Part 1 on PC and it's broken. I get what you're saying, P. I see, I'm just a bit different because I'm like, I don't know why, but I get some of you saying like it should be day one, but then they wouldn't sell their consoles. Do you know what I mean? I think like Helldivers 2 should have come out on Xbox day one. You would have maximized, I know, is it coming out or it's come out? That should have come out because that relies on a play count to making it successful. Xbox definitely made sure of it that there was not going to be any console wars anymore. I look at it from a Sony point of view. I know they're like a corporation, but they're making these exclusive games. They do have a right to release it on their hardware first. And they're probably like, how can we maximize profit? I get that. And Helldivers 2 is so big that it'll be a success. Yeah, no, of course. And I think Helldivers 2 has been a success, even if, but I still think it should have come out on Xbox. Yeah, like they're looking to eventually go like multi-platform, which I still think it means they're going to do like a delayed multi-platform. Software is where all the money is, and that's the exact reason why exclusivities will die. I don't know. Like, I know what you guys are saying. What would Sony think then? It just makes me think then, like, what will Sony think? Like, oh, let's just release it all in day one. That wouldn't make sense, I don't think. And like Peter, I buy consoles based on which games are coming out. Exactly. So as Sony, if I was, say I was part of Sony, I'd be like, listen, bring the game out a year later, if a year and a, maybe if it's a big game, a year and a half, that will encourage people to buy that console. And you got to remember, like God of War Ragnarok or another game, Ghost of Yotei, some people might have loved Ghost of Tsushima that much and they've still got a PS4 and they're like, you know what, for me, Ghost of Yotei is the game I'm going to go buy a PS5. And then they're doing the exclusive consoles. If that was to come out on other consoles, Xbox, Steam, day one, people wouldn't buy that console. And then what would that mean for Sony? If someone buys a PS5 specifically for Ghost of Yotei, that means, oh, I might as well buy God of War Ragnarok. Oh, I might as well buy Ghost of Tsushima on PS5. Oh, I might as well get a subscription because Ghost of Tsushima is on there. Therefore, now they've just bought so much more software, which means they're going to make Sony more money. I don't get why they would do that and just bring it out day one. I still think it'll be a timed exclusive. But they better bring out physicals, that's for sure. And that's what I mean. Sorry, I bought PS5s for the exclusive, so it makes sense. And for me, that's why I bought a PS5 all these years, because I bought them for the exclusives. I bought them because I just love playing on the PlayStation. And obviously, I'm someone who doesn't want to buy a PC. But if I had a PC and everything came out day one, then that would turn my head and be like, so why should I buy it on PS5 rather than PC? Well, I feel like Nintendo are the only ones who don't want to... they sell their hardware at a loss, but I get it. But that's what I mean. That's even more reason for Sony to keep everything on their PlayStation, keep it exclusive so that they make the money off the software side. Floyd, you said it. A console still plays well. My nephew can't afford an expensive PC and his old one is beginning to struggle. He might switch back as a fed up. It's horses for courses. Corporate greed and hungry shareholder equals if you're a loyal gamer. But that's what I mean. There's no physical PC games as well. That's another thing. I tell you what, if Sony want to make money on the next console, reiterate that you're gonna support physical media, do that, and I feel like you'll sell and you'll still make good exclusives. That's what I mean. That's why I feel like exclusivity is good. Maybe timed exclusive is what they should have.